Hi, welcome to today's video where we will chat about creativity from a standpoint that maybe people haven't explored as much, or at least I haven't seen this take really out there. And I want to explore it just like if we were discovering a room in a home and we're like, oh my God, that existed. Or yeah, just like a new building when we're exploring new grounds and new foundation and deciding like, ooh, what do I feel about this? How is my relationship to this creativity ground? Um, and yeah, I think uh, this is just coming up for me now that I feel like with creativity, because it's such a shared concept and people have a lot of thoughts about it, people have a lot of ideas about what creativity looks like. We have not let the space for creativity that has nothing to do with our conceptual mind and our symbolism and archetypes and ideas and what it actually feels like in the body to be creative. Um, I think for most people, when creativity is being brought into the conversation, we all have ideas pop up, we all have images pop up of what creativity might look like, um, or what we feel is creative. Also, our relation to it, our emotional, like almost attachment to what creativity should and can look like. And we really box ourselves with like, oh, this is a piece of art. And I think creativity and art, are sometimes meshed up together when for me there are two completely different processes and emotions and feelings. Like, so maybe we're going to explore that too. We're going to explore the art part and also the creativity. And I think for me, if we're talking about also like chakra based creativity is the color orange. It's also the color of, yeah, it's life force energy, it's vital energy. It's this energy that is not explainable, that runs through all of us and make us alive, animate us, um, make us breathe. And it's the energy that, runs through the plants. It's the energy that runs through life itself. It is life giving life to itself. And beyond consciousness, it's an animate energy, it's a moving energy, it's something that we can work with to bring in momentum, to bring in like action, to bring in movement, to bring in more vitality into what is inanimate, to bring life into what is inanimate and making animated. So, vitality in itself lives for me in tangible material stuff that then become in movement. So that is more towards like the chakra system. But then I wanted to explore like, what if we see creativity as something that is asked to be born? There were two pigeons that just came to my window that was really, really cute. Like, hey, hey girl, yes, we're here, we're listening. Um what if we bring our attention to creativity that is asked to be born? And the original thought for this video was because I feel like creativity is our own to work with, and it's our own to create a relationship to our creativity. I feel like count the times where I say creativity. Just take a shot of ginger every time. But yeah, like it's our own to work with. It's our own to birth through ourselves. And I feel like we have been through experiences that then this creativity is asking us to convey to the external world, to bring forward from our inner experience with that life force that may be like repressed, that may be expressed, like all of it. And it's ours to put a voice to it, to put words, to put movement, to put whatever it is. Actually, it can look like anything. It can look like how you make your breakfast in the morning. That can be creative, active living. So I don't think it's defined in that sense. And I don't think it's a very specific way that it should look like. It should actually just convey whatever experience is wanting to be expressed. And I also think creativity is a delayed process from experience. It comes after you've lived something or during the experience, too. It could be where the life force wants to be moved through you and then something comes out of it. So that's why it doesn't have a form or shape for me because it. Oh, someone is calling me. I'll get back to you. As said, getting back to you after the call. It was actually divinely timed. So we were at the point of exploring that yes, creativity moves when something wants to be expressed within a moment or after a moment, and it's like a composting of experience. Then comes creativity outside of it. And actually, when I was on my call, I was using these feathers and like caressing myself with them. And I feel like this is what this is what creativity is like for me. It's the act of taking the moment as it is, playing with it, and seeing what comes out of it without projecting our preconceived notion of what creativity should look like and what creativity should feel like, and arising from it, with it, together with it as a collaboration. I'm gonna keep this here actually. Um, and subsequently, because I did want to talk about the art part of it. Art to me is a complete separate notion, which is also included in the creativity. I feel like I'm going to speak too much with this actually, so I'm just going to place it somewhere here, just on the bed. Um, art is a complete different format. I feel like art is always in continuum and can always be returned to. Like if you write a book, if you paint a painting, if you take a picture, you can always come back to it, edit it, work on it, work with the body of substance that you're working with and perfect it or change it or really come to it to make some necessary tweaks that you need to do, not to attain perfection but to attain what you want to convey with it. And sometimes it's a very specific message that we want to bring with art, and we want the viewer, the observer, the person who's going to receive it to feel a very specific way. Other times with art, we're really trying to make it interpretive and for the person who's going to receive it to have their own experience with it. But there's always some sort of intention and like theme that we're working with as an artist to deliver to the audience and for the audience to work with after. It's kind of like a transfer of, okay, I've worked with this for X amount of time because art is timeless and reflects the time that we're doing it in. But I would argue this too because we can make art about anything, any time frame. And then give it we give it away to the public, whether we want it or not, whether we are aware of it or not. We give it away to the people. With creativity, I feel like it is not the same because it is something that we work with on our own, and it's you could say there is creativity in art, but there is no art. There's not necessarily, not, but there is not necessarily art in creativity. There's not necessarily a result or a giving of our experience. Sometimes it stays within us. So I think it's really interesting to explore how they feel for us as individuals and not as concepts. Again, I know this is very like talkative, this is very philosophy, but how do they feel when we interact with our own art, other people's arts, and also our own creativity? And how does it actually show up in our body? And I think for me, that's why creativity, I feel like we should count how many times I've said creativity. Um, but yeah, like how much, what's your relationship to it physically in a very sensorial way? And how does it show up in the way that you express it after? So, yeah, that's been what I've been reflecting on because I feel like it looks different for everyone, and we haven't made the place for it to be so out of what we think creativity is. Like for me, honestly, for example, I feel like someone's walk is really creative. It's their own way of walking. It's obviously like physiology, how they grew up, what they used to do, how they like the relationship with the body as a whole, and how they stand and how they feel in their bodies, all that somatic grounding. But it's also poetic, it's also creative because creativity like is inviting the person to be who they are without confinement. So anything that resembles that for me is creative. It's very wide, it's very infinite, and so it's hard to box down. Um, but I have also my own definitions of it and how I relate to creativity. So, yeah, what does creativity feel like in our bodies without the conceptual mechanisms that our brain go to and the conceptual like definitions that we give it? And I'm inviting us to dream of a world where concepts that we've been taught are being dismantled and that we can explore a more um, truthful relationship to what it really means for us to be creative. So, anyways, I'll try to be better too to look at the actual camera because I'm always looking in like where I see myself to see if it's all good. But maybe here is where I should look. So I'll get better at it. I think it's really distracting to like, what do I look? All right. Wishing you. Oh, this is so beautiful. Like, this is so gorgeous. Gorgeous. Have an awesome day.